I thought this top was cute. I look like a pilgrim. Right. This is the long-awaited story. No one's waiting for this. No one is waiting. Like, you know, TikTok, no one's coming. No one is waiting and no one cares. But I figured, let us do it anyway, you know? This was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Was it? I feel like Tana Mojo in like the beginning of her channel did story times, except this isn't nearly as crazy or nearly as wild.
Bruh.
It looks like I'm like setting up to do like a Zoom call. I look like stupid. Whatever, you know what? I don't care, no one cares. We are here today to talk about the story time of when I met little HUDDY, Chase Hudson, and Dove Cameron at the VMAs. Thought this was good lighting. It's not. Did that even do anything? Let us start with the story time.
Wow.
This is probably a 10-minute story. Excuse me, 5-minute story, but the way I explain things, it's probably gonna end up being like half an hour, but I'm gonna try and condense it, you know? So, my friend and I wanted to go to the VMAs like any normal person. I mean, no. And I feel like anyone would, whatever. People want to go to the VMAs, some people.
Bruh.
The VMAs though have declined over the years, like they've started to become like trash. They're normally in LA. The gist, the last time they were in New York was in 2013. I was searching for like weeks and months beforehand to try and see how we could find and get these tickets, right? I started calling Barclays Center like a crazy person. I was like calling them like, where are these VMA tickets? They were like, we're not in charge of that. MTV is. Like, this was in July, by the way. So they said, the only way we can get tickets is if we get a suite, like a box suite, and it was $10,000 or $25,000. What are we supposed to do now? I see it gets to be like 2 weeks before the show, and there's this website, 1iota, and they were like, oh, we're gonna do the VMA tickets. I'm like, okay, great. They posted for the VMAs, like the show, seated fans, pit fans, and red carpet fans. So I signed up for all three, and you have to sign up and then you go in a queue. So it's like a lottery. It's like, great. And I never win those things. So I'm like, great. And also at this point, I thought like Harry was going. I thought BTS was going. That was big clownery on my part. The days go by and no one's getting like updates on if they got these tickets. Like everyone's still in the queue. It's the Wednesday before the show. So the show is the 12th of September. So it's like the 9th or the 8th. I go back on 1iota's website and I've been checking I've been refreshing Twitter on the VMAs hashtag. Anyone has gotten any sort of update and no one has gotten anything. I go back on 1iota's website to just check the situation. And I see it says there are these 2 red carpet events for Thursday and Friday, the 9th and the 10th. The fine print, it said if you like attended, you got a ticket to Sunday's show. And I was like, what? We're going Thursday. Mind you, this was Wednesday, the day before. So we signed up. Mind you, you have to get invited to this. So like you have to get accepted. It's not like just you go, but no one wanted to go, whatever. So on Wednesday, I signed up for my friend and I to go to the thing on Thursday. And mind you, they tell you no information. It's like kind of like a CIA sort of mission. A couple hours later, I get an email saying we've been invited. I'm like, let's go. Thursday comes. They give out an excess amount of tickets. It's like overbooking a flight. We're training to the Barclays Center. We're like, yeah, I'm nervous because I'm like, I don't know. I've never been to a thing like this. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just getting a little nervy. Okay, sorry, the cat wanted to join. We're like, what are we doing here? Like, what's the problem? We got there at like 5 o'clock and it's now 8:30. And they said the performance was gonna be from 9 to 10 because it can change on the producer's needs. So, like, I don't know. We know, again, no one was telling us what we were there for and no one knew. They lock our phones up and then we get brought into like where the red carpet is. All of a sudden, Lotto comes out and she sings her song for like 30 minutes, whatever, and then we get to go. And she just sang an excerpt from her song like 4 times, and we had to scream, and then we were let free. The cat left. Get an email. It's like, you have been confirmed for the VMAs. Like, click to confirm your ticket. They gave you a check-in location and the time and whatever. We're so grateful that we got to go. It's just, I wish it wasn't like this difficult to go. Sunday morning, we get up, we go to the Barclays Center, or like the check-in location, which was like a block or 2 away from the Barclays Center. And we got there at 12 p.m. The show starts at 8. We're sitting on the side. They didn't let us into this location until 3 p.m. We were sitting on the streets of Brooklyn, New York, on the ground for 3 hours. Then we go inside. It was like an old bank, and they brought us down to the basement. It looked like a dungeon, and they gave us these wristbands. And then they brought us back up. They had chairs set up. Thank the good Lord that they had chairs. We sat there for about 2 hours. Then you had to like throw out your water, throw out any liquid you had. And then we get brought around. We're like walking down the back way to go to the Barclays Center. You saw the red carpet on TV. We were like in back of that, so we could kind of see the red carpet. We were kind of like the trash, because we were trash. We're the common folk put in the back where no one could see us, that we were just like hiding. We stood there for another 2.5 hours. Finally let us in at 7:30. You walk in and all the concessions are closed. All like, you know when you walk into an arena, they have like drinks and food. All that is closed. We're at the VMAs, guys. We made it inside. We made it into we're walking around trying to find our section. And this is like, of course it would happen to us. Like, we've had an incredible day waiting outside for 8 hours. Of course this would happen to us. Why wouldn't it? You know? We were in section 6. So we're walking around. It's like, there's a sign that says where to go for like sections. First of all, our section wasn't even on like the board. It said sections 1 through 5 and then 7 through 10. So there are 2 different arrows, and we're like, where do we go? Our section isn't on the thing. We walk one way, and it's, mind you, it's the entire section at this point, because everyone else had gone to their designated seats. So all of section 6 is like walking around the Barclays concourse, and we're like, where do we go? And we get stopped at this one section to get to it's right by section 6. We get stopped, and they're like, no, you have to walk around the other way. We're like, okay. So we're walking around the other way. We walk around the entire building, and we end up back at the other side of where we got stopped. There's like a curtain on either side, and we get stopped on either side. Like, you can't go in here. And we're like, they just told us to come around the other side. It was a whole big to-do, and they finally get someone, like a security guard there, and he like escorts us to section 6. On to section 6, we had like the worst view. You could not see a thing. To the left, all you saw was that huge moon thing, astronaut blow up thing. To our immediate in front of us was people standing for the pit. You could not see a thing. So we were a little annoyed. I looked to my right, and the reason why our section wasn't a section, and the reason why there was so much security, is because the celebrities were right next to us. Jaden and Nessa, and then Dove Cameron, and then I saw Jack Harlow, Olivia Rodrigo, Bella Poarch, Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio, Jack Harlow, Kid Laroi, Simone Biles. Like, it was crazy. This is why we weren't supposed to be a thing, because we were not supposed to be sitting right next to these celebrities. The show starts, we can't see a thing, but we can hear it, and we're jamming out. We're watching the celebrities watch the show. We're like watching through them. We're like, they can see it. We're gonna take their reactions, and we're gonna be like, yeah, this is great. Like an hour passes, and we're like, this is like, it's great and all. Like, we're very grateful we got in, but we can't see anything. We saw the teleprompter. And my friend goes up like 10 rows, and people had left because even 10 rows up, they're like, this is ridiculous, we can't see. And at this point, she goes 10 rows up, and you can see half the stage. She like texts me, she's like, come up 10 rows. So I go up to 10 rows, and we saw half the stage. So we saw, because the stage is like a huge like circle, so we only saw like part of it, but we saw Shawn Mendes's performance, we saw Casey Musgraves, But everything else that was on the other side, no way. There was just no way. So we enjoyed the show. As the show progresses, more and more celebrities leave. They're like, I'm bored, bye, I'm going to enjoy this city, goodbye. So by the end, and it's a long show. So by the end of the show, the only celebrities that remained were Lil HUDDY, Chase Hudson, and Dove Cameron. When you walk out, you're like in this, there's a curtain on either side. So you're just there with, so any celebrity that left during the show, we could have met, but we didn't like know they were leaving because we weren't really, we were looking at the astronaut blow up thing the whole time. We could have met Jack Harlow, we could have met Dixie and Charlie. Go up to the concourse and I'm like, my friends are in the bathroom and I look to my left and I see Dove Cameron and I'm like, that's Dove Cameron. She is gorgeous in person, just like in her photos. I think she was having an off day. She just wasn't in the mood, which is fine, which is totally fine. I don't know. It was like me and this one other girl and we walk up to her like really nicely, really calm. And we're like, hi Dove, like, excuse me, do you think we could get like a photo with you? And she literally, she was like, yeah. And like that tone of voice, the exact tone of voice. It's like, yeah. We go take mine and she's like, thank you. And like gives me a dirty look after. Like the dirtiest look, like she wants to like punch me. Like she could have said no. She definitely could have said no to the photo, which I'm very grateful she said yes. But I wanted to be like, oh, I love your music. Like I just wanted to be like, oh, she didn't even let me say thank you. Like verbatim. She's like, thank you. And like looked at her like friends that were like with her. Which is fine. I'm a common folk. Like, thank you for like taking a photo with the common folk. I just wish she like let me speak to her, but it's fine. It was whatever. I'm very grateful she let me meet her or take a photo with her. As we're trying to like leave, go through the curtain of like the TikToker curtain, we're trying to get out and we see Lil HUDDY. I'm like, oh my God, that's Lil HUDDY. He was so nice. His Uber had just gotten there and he brought his mom. And I was like, hi Chase, do you think we could get a photo? He's like, yeah. And he like looked us right in the eye, he was like smiling. Even like he had a mask on, but like even under his mask you could see he was smiling. And we took a photo and he's like, thank you guys so much, like sorry I have to go. And his mom actually got in like the back of our photo and he was like, oops, you got mom in the photo. We're really sweet. And then they're like, oh sorry, we really have to go, like our Uber's here. And so then they like left to the VIP exit, but we couldn't go out that way because we're obviously weren't VIP. The next day when I woke up, I had to process everything. I'm like, I can't believe we were with all those celebrities. Really cool to meet Dove Cameron and Chase Hudson. Lil HUDDY was really sweet. Like I said, Dove Cameron didn't like me, but that's okay. Lil HUDDY's eyes in person too. He has like the bluest eyes. Finally schlep out of the Barclays Center with the rest of the common folk. And we end up walking in like the lane that had everyone's like Escalade and like everyone's Uber that was like all the celebrities were gonna get in. And when we walked out, there were like hundreds of people lined up across the street to try and get a glimpse of people leaving the Barclays Center. And at that point I like took a step back and I'm like, it didn't matter that we had trash seats and that we were trash. Like we got to experience that and I was very, very grateful and very appreciative. Amazing experience, so once in a lifetime experience. And like getting to meet Dove Cameron and Lil HUDDY, like that was so cool. Sitting next to Jack Harlow and like Simone Biles and Olivia Rodrigo, like what was that? It was a mess, but we did succeed. It was memories that we can talk about in the future. And yeah, so that is the incredible, messy, all over the place, Jelly Danny story time of how I met Lil HUDDY and Dove Cameron at the VMAs. Thank you guys for watching this video and don't forget to like and subscribe. And you know, the vibes were immaculate. Bye, besties. Yeah, little vamping.